You are absolutely right. The D-Main's getting pushed out right now. See Ty Holsey, who was expecting to make a good showing. I was looking forward to that 21T, and he got involved in that accident in his heat race with nowhere to go down on the berm, tore up the front end of that car, but they've made some repairs, and it's back out to compete in the D-Main number 1, starting inside row number 3. We'll get you this full lineup as they push the field out onto the racetrack. Again, D feature number 1, pole setter from Omaha, Nebraska, will be the 3 of Jake Neal to the outside. It's going to be Weston Gorham from Colleyville, Texas, in the 71 WG. Second row inside the 7RS, Merrill Lamb from Iola, Kansas, and to the outside the 0B of Ross Weiss. Row number 3 inside the 21T, Ty Holsey, the Owasso Outlaw from Owasso, Oklahoma, to the outside the 76J, Davy Jones out of West Middlesex, Pennsylvania. Row number 4 inside will be the 27 MK of Kyle Keeler from El Reno, Oklahoma, to the outside the 03 Shaylee Bade out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Your fifth row will be the 30T of Larry Brady from Springdale, Arkansas, and the 56V of Matt Veach from Macedonia, Illinois. On the back, the 777 of Bailey Hughes from right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we saw Bailey go upside down in her heat race. Ty Holsey got involved in a wreck in his. Ross Weiss was slow. He
tipped over. He
tipped over in hot laps for sure,
yeah.
But I couldn't remember if he did in his heat race or not.
Yeah. He was involved in an incident too. So we'll take a look up on the front row. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Your pole sitter, that'll be the 3 RFMS car. That's Jake Neal, a winner in late model competition out in Nebraska last year. Also former USM MTS modified driver, trying his hand at a midget. So definitely, it's good equipment off the front row.
Yeah, he's definitely got an RFMS racing machine underneath him. That's good equipment, folks.
So once again, top 2 move on, and as we said, M main if you don't make it.
Good morning, Saturday.
Talking to Lonnie Wheatley earlier today, who is doing these lineups for us throughout the week. He said he's got at least a pair of O's starting Saturday morning. O features.
You know what I say about that? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And he said, depending on how things go, there may be a solo P main.
Oh, no.
All the way back to P's. He said at least double O's and maybe a P starting Saturday morning. Talk about alphabet soup.
And we'll look here in the lineup as it's now trackside with your front row, Jake Neal, Wes Gorham up front. Inside of row number 2, we see the number 7 car. That is Merrill Lamb. He was runner-up in the All-Star Midget Series points. There's Ross Weiss about to be pushed off. One of 7 Johnny Murdoch rental cars here. Murdoch renting out 6 of them, running one himself.
He actually had a few cars here running the Ecotex at the shootout.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
at least 2.
You know,
here.
if we want to continue the controversial talk from a little bit earlier, there's a whole bunch of Ecotechs here that are running, and they weren't at the shootout.
Oh, my.
There's our logic.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, but anyway, so we'll move on. Looks like problems on Weiss.
Can't get that 0B fired up. Reese was scheduled to start outside row number 2 and will get pushed up the ramp. So disappointing.
And that moves
start.
him. He automatically transfers into one of the N mains for Saturday. Maybe an O. We'll wait and see how that all goes. But previously, so there we mentioned Merrill Lamb inside of row number 2, runner-up in the All-Star Midget Series points last season, competitor in the Kansas-Nebraska area. Now we got to readjust the lineup with Hughes and a couple other cars not answering the bell. Looks like we'll go with 8.
The outside row will move up a row, and that should shoot Hughes to the outside. And typically they would just move him straight forward, but with the outside row already being 1 car short, they'll shoot Hughes to the outside of the final row.
Matt Veach out of Macedonia, Illinois, making his midget racing debut here at the Chili Bowl. He's a veteran of the Micro Sprints.
I actually don't.
SIR.
The 777 Hughes is not out there.
Okay, so we're down to 7 taking the green flag.
We'll keep our eyes on Ty on the 21. He should be your car to focus in on, him and Merrill Lamb. There we see Ty Halsey up into second position. Halsey, excuse me.
Yeah, all the way up right behind Jake Neal's 3 car right now.
Halsey doing a good job.
Lots of challenges right behind Halsey's 21, but Halsey sticking to the bottom, trying to get underneath Neal, who was on the high side through turns 3 and 4, closing that gap through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway.
Remember, top 2 move on to the D main. Or the C main, back of the C main. Top 2.
Ty Halsey, a regular with the POWRi West Series, had a top 10 in points for the 2016 racing season. Right now he's got his hands full with the orange number 76, and that is Davy Jones. Davy Jones is definitely cutting the gap between he and Halsey now as they continue to run 1, 2, and 3.
Halfway through is a signal from flagman Terry Maddox. It's still Weston Gorham out front. Halsey still in the 3rd spot in that black and blue 21, trying to get Jake Neal's transfer spot away, who's in that black and gold number 3. And this is 2nd and 3rd right here. 2 will advance to tonight's C main. 3rd on are done for today until Saturday morning. 2 laps to go. The signal to Weston Gorham as he comes out of the turn 4. And look at the challenge now. 2 laps to go, and your top 3 are closing in tight. White flag comes out for Gorham. Neal still holding the 2 spot. Halsey right behind, out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Halsey will stick to the bottom. Gorham pushing high in the corner. Neal tries to get underneath, and they will finish 1, 2, 3. Gorham, Neal, and Halsey.
So definitely a disappointment for Halsey. But that's what happens. One bobble there when you're doing good in the top 3 or 4 in your heat race. You're in the back of this race, goes green to checker.
Well,
and you fall short by 1 position.
Don't know where that push come from on that last lap, but man, it was monstrous.
Yeah, Gorham
could have been devastating.
His car, you can see a good replay of it right here.
Yeah.
It looked like that car was going away from him in the last couple laps, and I think 1 more lap and Neal would have gotten around. Halsey might have even gotten into the 2 spot, putting Gorham out of a transfer.
Yeah, still very close for that 2nd position, the final transfer, but just too little, too late for Ty Halsey, so he's done until Saturday.
Yep. We'll look ahead now at D feature number 2 and find the other 2 cars that are going to advance to the C main. Jim, you want to give us our lineup for D feature number 2?
Sure, this will be 10 laps. Once again, the top 2 will tag the back of the 2nd C main. On the front row, in the first starting spots, driving the 7AU, that's Lee Raymond from, I guess, overseas. New South Wales, Australia, yes. On the outside, the 88W, that is Dustin Whelan out of Parker, Colorado. In the 2nd row, starting 3rd is Brandon Mattis out of Wampa, Pennsylvania, driving the 7CH. Starting 4th, driving car number 69B, that is Brian Debrick out of Irving, Texas. Now row 3, starting on the inside in the 5th starting spot out of Wichita, Kansas. Driving car number 15S, that is Gavin Stout. On the outside in the 6th starting spot, the 7U. He won a Golden Driller and did it in convincing style last week here at the Chili Bowl. From Millersburg, Missouri, Joe B. Miller. Now row 4, starting on the inside in the 7th starting position out of Springfield, Illinois. That is the 2M of Austin Odell. On the outside in the 8th starting spot, driving the 14J, that is Isaac Shuris out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And in row 9 in the 6A, it is Ray Seach out of Beloit, Wisconsin. On the outside of that 5th row is the number 7SS, Wade Seiler out of Alton, Illinois. And rounding out your field, the 5J of Jeff Crook out of Garden City, Kansas.
And while they start to push off this field and get them lined up, we're going to shoot to the top and see who Scotty Cook has for us.
Thank you very much, guys. Caught up with D Main 1 winner Weston Gorham. Great job, buddy. You were fighting a little push.
Yeah, I was pushing pretty bad going into 1 and 3, but when I tried to enter below it, it was way too loose, so kind of just trying to deal with what I got.
Gonna maybe, while you got an opportunity, put a turn in it up here, or just run with what you got?
We're going to make some adjustments and be ready for this C main coming up. Really just, it's fast, powerful, just got to get the right setup in it.
We appreciate your time. Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Weston Gorham picking up D main number 1, and we're down trackside for D main number 2, guys.
Thank you, Scotty. Getting ready to stack them up behind the official Chili Bowl pace truck, the 2017 Chili Bowl Nationals Ford Super Duty pace truck with the Hooter Girls in tow. Again, 2 more drivers will advance to a C main. Got them stacked up a few more, make it out for this one. We only had 8 start D feature number 1 of the 11 scheduled. We've got 11 scheduled to start D feature number 2. And looks like 10 of them have made it out. 10 of the scheduled 11 have made it to this D feature. 10 laps your distance. Lee Redmond and Dustin Wieland. They are up front. Green flag is out, and Wieland drops back on that start. Look at the 2 jumping all the way up. That's Austin Odell on the 2M. Advanced several positions on the start. It's still Lee Redmond out front.
Joe B. Miller over to Basta Welland.
Miller makes that move underneath Dustin Wieland. Into the 3rd spot.
Joe B. Miller, a very accomplished racer, as I stated. You know, he's a former POWRi Speedway micro sprint champ. He races sprint cars and did a heck of a job in the midget a couple times last year on the POWRi National Midget Series.
Closing in on Lee Redmond right now. He's in second, trying to take the lead away. He's on the high side. This is a battle for the first transfer, but the caution comes out. I believe it's turn number 2. Miller is all the way up to the 2 spot right behind Richmond, was about to make the pass. It's the 88W of Dustin Wieland who has come to a stop. We'll get Wieland turned back around in the 88. Line him up single file. Bring the blue cone out onto the front straightaway. Waiting on the field to go by for Wieland to get the push start. That was out of turn number 2.
You know, Brian, we could see a little bit of alphabet running here tonight by this guy right here, Joe B. Miller.
Yeah, definitely. He should be able to get this one handled. It'll get a little tougher come C main, and definitely be tough for him for the B. But, you know, as you mentioned, Jim, 8 POWRi 600 micro wins last year. Definitely had it on track during the season.
Miller had an issue in his heat race. That car stalled out on him 2 or 3 times. That's what puts him back in the D main. Not sure if it was a battery issue or some other electrical issue, because he wasn't involved in an accident. He just kept being underpowered, or the car would die, and they have obviously got whatever the situation is resolved, as he's moved up right now from starting in the 6th position. They do go ahead and credit him with the lead. It looks like he's leading the field around in front of that 7AU of Lee Richmond.
It looks like they've got the field realigned, and we're about ready to drop the green one more time.
Yeah, they put Miller back behind Redmond for the start. In the 3 spot right now, it's Mattis in the 7CH. So the 7AU in the lead, followed by the 7U, and in third the 7CH. So lucky number 7 up front.
That's actually the most popular number here. 21 number 7 cars.
Oh my!
That's just crazy.
We'll see if two of them can get lucky in this D main and get a transfer up to the C, as we are back under green.
And Joe B. Miller moving right back up to that top spot,
Yellow.
but the yellow comes back out once again.
And Maddox will bring the cone back out to the front straightaway. I don't see a car stalled around, so I'm not sure if it was a false start there or... Well, yeah, they're sending someone to the rear
Yeah,
of the field.
somebody must have hit that.
It's the number 14 car.
It's Isaac Schurers?
Schurers.
Well, the yellow light is off, and Redmond will lead them to the line again.
I believe all of his controls, Brian, is
Yeah.
on the steering wheel.
They are.
He's paralyzed
Yes.
from the waist down.
This races sprint cars a lot out in the Dakotas. Does a pretty good job. Won a feature couple, I believe, last year. They're still yellow.
And
Someone
another one
else.
caught the cone. It's the blue. It's the blue cone. They're used to orange, and it's throwing these drivers a little topsy-turvy here.
Is that Zach
It actually
Chappell,
got. It actually
looks
got.
like.
It actually got caught in the car and dragged over there.
So Zach Chappell picks it up in turn number 1, brings it over to Roy Wagner, who will run it back to the front straightaway and head back to the hay bales to catch his breath. Wagner right there, and Terry Maddox with the flags. Maddox will
there
signal,
you
hey,
go.
here's the cone. Look for it. Those two gentlemen share flagging duties throughout the Tulsa Shootout and the Chili Bowl Nationals. So you still have your 3.7s up front. 2 will advance. Green flag.
Well, let's see what Joe B. Miller does.
He
Moves
sticks.
right up to that high side once again, Brian.
Yeah, he does. And you see Redmond trying to move up a little bit out of his bottom line, and
Oh,
more
no.
issues with Miller's 7U. Same thing we saw in his heat race that put him in the D feature.
Yeah. Tough break for the Millersville, Missouri driver. Not every driver's got a town name after him.
Yeah. And we actually got a word in with him earlier for any of our subscribers to RacingBoys.com. If you not only purchased the pay-per-view to watch this week, but if you are also a regular premium member of our website at RacingBoys.com, you can check out all the interviews that we do throughout the week. Scotty Cook and I are out talking to drivers in the pits.
4 cars actually involved here. We didn't catch that earlier.
Yeah, several of them coming to a stop. That's another number 7.
It's Wayne Seiler, I believe.
Yep.
Wayne Seiler out of Alton, Illinois. It was down in turn 1 and 2. Isn't it?
Yeah, turn 2
Gavin
right there.
Stout also involved.
But we talked with Joe B. Miller earlier, so that should be up on our premium site pretty soon. We talked to Alex Bright, who got a win earlier. We talked to Zach Dahm, Steven Shabester, several drivers. Then you can go see all those interviews on the premium section. Check out the Chili Bowl tab under videos. Also have a good piece on last night's Brian Clausen's Racers for Autism event.
5 laps yet. Now all of a sudden, Dustin Whelan, who had his problem earlier, now up into 4th position.
Well, now we have our correct Twitter up, so we can talk with you throughout the broadcast.
Lee Redmond, the race leader, Brandon Maddox running second. Third is Austin O'Dell now, the car number 2M. Dustin Wellen in the EDEW, and Isaac Schurers. 5 down, 5 to go.
I know we got a lot of people in Southern Illinois watching this. So I want to hear from some people in Southern Illinois.
All right, we'll see who tweets in as we are back under green. Look at the second place car jumping on the berm, and the yellow light is on again. Mattis. Well, look at that.
Wade Seiler.
Wayne
once
Seiler
again.
again.
7SS. One of the 4 number 7s in tonight's D feature number 2.
21 total, huh?
Yeah, I actually
Wow.
went through it when I was preparing it. I put it on Twitter about a week ago, and yep, most popular number.
And we had a 7 in the first D feature and a 777.
777 only counts once.
Once.
Actually, doesn't even. Yeah, that wouldn't even count.
Didn't count as one of the 7s.
No, because it was just a 7, and
Right.
it was like be like
be like a 77.
yeah,
So
177. And more problems for Ray Seach in the 6.
yeah, he got caught up when Miller stalled out in turn number 1, was up on that top side and got on the brakes, and
And he, of course, had some contact earlier in his heat race and flipped 3 times in sideways.
Yeah, I think he got in with Austin Brown in that third qualifying heat race earlier.
So once again, still 5 laps complete, 5 laps to go. Green is back out for Lee Redmond, who's led this whole entire distance. Manis, here comes to 2. Austin Odell trying to make it work. Dustin Whelan up on the high side.
I believe Austin Odell driving one of the Critter Malone midgets.
Odell to the outside of Mattis with a strong corner there.
More problems on Miller.
Yeah, Joby Miller slowing down again. I would say that is just about the end of the night for Joby Miller.
Yeah, they're actually motioning him off.
I believe that's a 7 horseshoe. I don't think
Yeah.
the horseshoe did its job.
Yeah.
Looks actually like a Colts sticker.
Yeah.
No luck there.
No
with that
luck at
horseshoe.
all.
Hopefully he'll be able to turn that luck around and advance to a few races on Saturday morning, but definitely a early start. You can see on the bottom screen right there, you got Tony Stewart talking with Martin Edwards. They're both working on the track this week.
Just saw world-renowned Southern Illinois photographer Jim Viviano.
Oh, yeah. The legend in his own mind. I've known Jimmy a long, long time. Good.
The meatball.
Yes. I'll tell you what, his family knows how to cook some Italian food, though. Oh,
Yeah.
my.
So once again, Manis now in 3rd, Whelan in 4th. Those are the 2 guys looking on the outside, trying to make something happen here. Actually, this could be a good 4-race, 4-car battle here. Whelan suddenly finding the high side to his liking. Gets around Manis.
Yeah, Whelan's had issues early, but has worked his way back up, trying to take the 3 spot away, and does so.
Yeah, what a comeback for Whelan.
Might be slipping away.
Austin Odell currently has the 2nd transfer right behind Lee Redmond. And that will do it. Your transfers, Lee Redmond and Austin Odell. They will come back to the back of C feature number 2 and have a long ways to go if they want to advance to a B main. We did get a tweet from Brandon Bauman. Hearing Jim Childress on the Racing Boys coverage makes it so much better.
Oh,
Hashtag legendary.
Isn't that your relative, Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's a friend of mine that I guess
It's your
I
neighbor.
owe him $10.
It's your neighbor.